Have you ever wondered why the attraction of a married man feels so mysterious, almost forbidden yet irresistibly powerful? It is not just a passing desire or a fleeting curiosity. Behind every hidden glance, behind every silent gesture, there is a psychological universe that Carl Jung described as the unseen forces of the unconscious, speaking louder than reason. But what does this attraction really mean? Is it simply an escape from routine? Or is there something much deeper? Something that reveals secrets about his soul and about yours? In this video, we will unlock that mystery, dive into the hidden symbols, and discover why the connection with a married man is never only physical. Get ready. What you are about to hear may change the way you understand love, desire, and even yourself. Eyes speak louder than words. There are moments in life when words feel small, when they fail to capture the weight of what is truly happening. A single glance, a quick meeting of eyes, can suddenly carry more meaning than an entire conversation. With a married man, this becomes even more intense. He may never speak his feelings out loud, but his eyes become the channel where everything hidden flows out. They linger for a second longer than they should. They move away too quickly, then return with hesitation. They shine with a secret fire that his words will never admit. And in that silent exchange, you sense something real, something raw, something that refuses to stay locked inside. Carl Jung explained that much of human attraction does not arise from logic or choice, but from the unconscious. That deep reservoir of desires and images that guide us without our awareness. The eyes are one of the most direct pathways to this unconscious. When a married man looks at you, it is not just sight. His gaze becomes a symbol, a message from a part of himself he cannot control. You feel it not only on your skin but in your soul, as though something powerful has been revealed without a single word. Why does this happen? Because the eyes betray the truth. Words are often controlled, measured, and dressed in politeness. The gaze, however, slips through the cracks of self-control. It reveals the conflict between duty and longing, between the life he has chosen and the life he secretly imagines. This is why one look can feel so heavy. It is not casual. It carries the tension of two worlds colliding. In psychology, Jung described projection as the way we see in others what we lack or suppress in ourselves. When his eyes meet yours, he may not simply be looking at you. He may be seeing a reflection of his own hidden needs, the part of himself that feels incomplete. In you, he senses freedom, vitality, or a spark of meaning he has lost in routine. His gaze is not only about desire for you. It is about his desire to reconnect with his own soul. For you, this moment also holds weight. You cannot dismiss the way his eyes reach deeper than his words. You may find yourself replaying it later, wondering why it felt so different, so charged. That is because the gaze does more than reveal his feelings, and it awakens your own. Perhaps it stirs your curiosity, or it lights up a part of you that has long been ignored. The eyes do not simply express, they awaken. Notice the details of such a look. Sometimes his eyes will search for you in a crowd, even when he tries to resist. Sometimes he will look away too quickly, fearing that you might read what he cannot hide. Other times he will hold your gaze for a moment too long, as if unable to let go. Each small variation tells the story of his struggle between his outer role as a husband, father, or responsible man, and his inner pull toward something unknown. That struggle is what gives the gaze its intensity. When you receive such a look, it does not feel neutral. It feels like a spark, like electricity crossing between two people who are not supposed to connect in that way. This is why it lingers in your mind. You are not only remembering him, you are remembering what his eyes awakened in you. That moment becomes a mirror reflecting not only his longing but also your own. The gaze, then, is not an accident. It is a symbol of the unconscious at work. Jung believed symbols are the language of the psyche, and the eyes are among the most powerful symbols of all. Through them, the unconscious breaks through the mask of daily life. What his mouth denies, his eyes confess. What society forbids, his eyes reveal. That is why we say the eyes speak louder than words. They carry truths that language cannot hold. They speak the language of desire, of shadow, of the soul reaching for something beyond rules and duties. They remind us that attraction is never only about bodies. It is about minds, hearts, and unconscious needs. So when a married man's eyes meet yours with intensity, understand this. You are witnessing the conflict between his outer life and his inner world. You are seeing not only desire but also projection, longing, and the search for wholeness. His gaze is both a question and an answer, a danger and a temptation. And what it really means is that attraction is far deeper than the surface suggests. It is a symbol of something larger, the pull of the unconscious, the hunger of the soul, and the truths we try to hide but cannot keep from showing. The silence that screams desire. There are moments when silence becomes louder than the noisiest words. Between you and a married man, this silence does not feel empty. It feels alive, tense, and charged with emotions that neither of you dares to speak. It is in those pauses, those unsaid words, those sudden breaks in conversation that his attraction reveals itself with more force than a declaration ever could. Silence in this context is not absence. It is presence overflowing. Carl Jung explained that the unconscious does not always use language. Instead, it works through symbols, gestures, and spaces where reason cannot reach. Silence itself is one of these symbols. When a married man suddenly grows quiet in your presence, it is rarely because there is nothing to say. It is because what he feels cannot be safely expressed. His silence is a container, holding emotions he cannot release, yet by holding them, he ends up showing them even more clearly. Think about how silence feels in different situations. In casual moments, silence may be neutral, calm, or even boring. But in the presence of attraction, silence feels heavy. You sense something unspoken filling the air. His body shifts, his breathing changes, his eyes look away and return too quickly. Every small sign becomes magnified. The quiet does not hide desire. It amplifies it. You may leave such moments remembering not the words exchanged, but the intensity of what was left unsaid. Why does this silence scream so loudly? Because it is the unconscious breaking through. Jung described how inner conflicts often show themselves indirectly. When he pauses, it is the conflict between his public role and his private longing reaching the surface. Words would betray him, so he stays silent, but that silence becomes his confession. It says without sound, I feel something I should not feel. It says I am holding back because the truth is dangerous for you. This silence is just as powerful. It can make your heart beat faster, your mind race with possibilities. You may feel nervous, excited, or deeply aware of the closeness between you. His silence awakens not only curiosity about him, but also awareness of yourself. Jung believed attraction often reflects what lies hidden in our own depths. His silence may awaken your own unspoken desires, the ones you rarely admit even to yourself. Notice how silence can linger in memory. Words fade, but silence echoes. You replay it later, trying to understand what it meant. That is because silence leaves space for your imagination to work. It becomes a mirror, reflecting not only his struggle but also your own. The absence of speech forces you to feel the weight of what remains unspoken, and that weight can be unforgettable. Silence also works as protection. For him, saying nothing feels safer than saying too much. Yet paradoxically, by remaining silent, he reveals the intensity of what he hides. Silence becomes a wall that leaks its own secrets. It is not emptiness. It is a message coded in absence. In Jungian terms, silence in these moments is symbolic communication. It represents desire restrained, passion compressed, and the unconscious pressing against the boundaries of the conscious. He does not speak, but his silence tells the truth. Attraction exists, strong and undeniable. He may deny it with words, but silence betrays him. You must ask yourself, do you listen to silence as nothing or as everything? Those who learn to listen to what is unspoken gain deeper understanding of human behavior. His silence is not meaningless. It is loaded with signals, charged with conflict, filled with hidden truths. It shows you that attraction does not always need sound to be real. Sometimes it is clearest when nothing is said. This is why silence can feel more dangerous than words. Words can be dismissed or explained away. Silence cannot. It stays inside your mind, repeating itself without needing sound. It grows louder the more you remember it. That is the paradox. Silence never ends when it carries desire. It expands, echoing long after the moment has passed. So what does the silence of a married man really mean? It means his attraction has crossed the boundary where words can no longer carry it. It means his unconscious has spoken in the only way it can, through absence that feels louder than presence. It means you are witnessing a truth he cannot say but cannot hide. His silence is not neutral. It is a scream wrapped in stillness. It is his soul confessing without sound. Before we continue, there is something important for you. If you want to understand the hidden patterns in your relationships on a deeper level, the Jung Method can guide you. The link is pinned in the first comment. The forbidden energy that pulls you in. There is something magnetic about what we are told not to touch. The forbidden does not repel. It attracts. It calls from the shadows, whispering promises of danger and excitement. When the attraction involves a married man, this energy multiplies because it mixes desire with secrecy, longing with risk. Carl Jung believed the psyche is irresistibly drawn to the shadow, the hidden side of life that rules quietly beneath awareness. The forbidden holds such energy because it represents the parts of the self and of life that the conscious mind tries to suppress. What is denied becomes stronger. What is hidden becomes irresistible. You may notice how this energy changes the air around him. A simple exchange feels heavy, loaded with meaning. Every glance, every silence, every pause seems to carry more weight than it should. The forbidden turns ordinary interactions into sparks of electricity. This is not imagination. It is the unconscious making its presence known. The very awareness that it should not happen gives it intensity. The more he is off limits, the more powerful the pull feels. Why is this energy so hard to resist? Jung explained that human beings are not only guided by reason but also by symbols. The forbidden becomes a symbol of freedom, of stepping outside routine. Daily life often feels safe yet predictable. The forbidden shatters that predictability. It awakens a part of the soul that longs for risk, passion, and discovery. To the unconscious, the forbidden is not danger. It is opportunity. It is the key to what lies beyond the ordinary. For him, the attraction is not only about you as a person, it is also about what you represent. You become the symbol of something alive, something outside the structures of responsibility. His marriage may provide stability, but stability can harden into routine. Attraction to you signals the unconscious push to break free. This does not mean he does not care for his life. It means his psyche is searching for what feels lost inside it: energy, passion, and freedom. For you, the pull of the forbidden can awaken emotions you did not expect. You might feel curiosity, excitement, even guilt, yet the force persists. That is because this energy is not only about him, it is about you. Jung taught that what attracts us often mirrors our own inner needs. Being drawn to a married man may reflect your longing for intensity, your hunger for meaning, your secret desire to touch something beyond safe boundaries. The forbidden energy works as a mirror, revealing your own hidden longings. The danger is part of its power. If there were no risk, the energy would not feel the same. The risk sharpens attention. It makes every moment feel alive. That is why you may replay the smallest encounters in your mind, unable to let them go. The forbidden does not fade quickly. It lodges itself inside, asking for recognition. Denying it may only make it stronger. Jung often pointed to myths and stories where forbidden love played central roles. These tales survive because they speak to something universal. People across time have felt the strange magnetism of what they cannot have. It is not simply about love or desire. It is about the eternal human battle between order and chaos, between duty and passion. The forbidden exists right on that border. It offers the promise of escape from order and entry into chaos. And chaos, though dangerous, always feels alive. What makes this attraction so intense is that it forces you to face your shadow. The shadow contains what you hide, deny, or fear. Attraction to what is forbidden asks you to look at yourself more honestly. It may ask, why do I want this? What is missing in me? What does this say about my own hunger? These questions are not comfortable, but they are transformative. The forbidden awakens not only passion but also self-knowledge. This energy is not easy to master. Fighting it directly often strengthens it. Ignoring it makes it grow in silence. The unconscious does not obey logic. That is why the forbidden feels stronger than reason. It is not only external, it is internal. It is your own soul reminding you of its untamed parts. So what does the forbidden energy really mean? It means attraction is more than surface. It is not only about his situation or your feelings. It is about the deep pull of the unconscious toward what feels alive. It is the energy of the shadow, the magnetic force of what is denied. The forbidden pulls you in because it reflects the hunger for freedom, intensity, and wholeness that lies inside every human being. When everyday life becomes a prison. Everyday life can look safe on the outside but feel like a cage on the inside. For a married man, routine is often built around responsibility. He wakes up, works, provides, returns home, and repeats. From the outside, it looks stable. From within, it can feel like chains. Carl Jung described how the human spirit suffers when it is cut off from meaning and from the deeper needs of the soul. When life becomes only duty without passion or mystery, the unconscious begins to rebel. It whispers through dreams, desires, and sudden attractions that shake the surface of control. This is where you may enter his story. You do not just appear as a person. You appear as a symbol of everything his daily life lacks. The routine offers him security but not intensity. It offers order but not vitality. When he feels drawn to you, it is not only personal desire. It is the unconscious searching for escape, looking for a doorway out of his prison. The attraction reveals the hunger for freedom, for something beyond the endless cycle of sameness. Notice how routine works. At first, structure feels safe. It protects against chaos, but over time, too much structure suffocates. The soul longs for surprise, for newness, for adventure. Jung wrote that people need balance between order and the unknown. Without the unknown, life becomes dry. When a married man feels that his days are predictable, attraction becomes his rebellion. It is the way his unconscious tries to breathe again. Think about the signs of such a prison. He may seem restless, distracted even when nothing is wrong. He may avoid talking about feelings because they disturb the order he depends on. Yet inside, the hunger grows. When he meets someone who awakens that missing energy, the pull is immediate. It is not calculated. It is instinctual. The attraction does not only say, "I like you," it says, "I need life to feel alive again." For you, understanding this dynamic is important. His attraction may look personal, but often it is about his struggle with routine. You are not only yourself in his eyes, you are the symbol of freedom, of risk, of something different from the path he walks daily. This does not make the feelings less real, it makes them more complex. You are touching not only his heart, but also his prison walls. Everyday life becomes a prison when passion is buried. Jung believed that without passion, the psyche begins to break down. Depression, anxiety, and emptiness often come from ignoring the soul's call for meaning. Attraction is one way the unconscious pushes against this numbness. It shocks the person, reminding him that something inside still burns. You become the spark that proves his fire is not dead. But prisons are tricky. They are built not only by society, but also by the individual. He may fear leaving the safety of his structure. He may both crave and resist the pull toward freedom. That is why his attraction can seem inconsistent. One moment strong, the next withdrawn. It is not because the feelings vanish. It is because the prison is powerful. Breaking its walls would mean changing his life, his image, and his responsibilities. That tension creates the inner conflict you see. For you, this conflict can also feel like a trap. You may sense that his attraction is true, yet you also feel the weight of the life he carries. This duality is part of why the experience feels so intense. You are not only dealing with one man, you are dealing with his entire world, the prison of his routine, the duties he cannot abandon, the longing he cannot silence. Jung taught that recognizing symbols helps us see reality more clearly. In this case, his attraction is a symbol of the deeper human need for freedom and passion. It shows that even the most structured life can hide hunger beneath the surface. When everyday life becomes a prison, the soul will always seek cracks to escape. Sometimes those cracks appear as sudden attraction. So what does this really mean? It means that his pull toward you may not only be about romance. It may be about survival of his inner world. You are the reminder that life can be more than duty. You are the mirror of his unspoken truth. That structure alone is not enough. The prison of everyday life can be escaped only when the soul dares to reach beyond routine. His attraction is the sign that his soul is trying to break free, and you have become the symbol of that freedom. The fascination with what you can't have. There is a strange power in the things that remain out of reach. What we are told we cannot touch often becomes the very thing we cannot stop thinking about. When attraction involves a married man, this power grows stronger. It is not only desire for a person, but fascination with the unreachable, the secret, the forbidden. Carl Jung explained that the psyche is drawn toward the shadow, the hidden elements of life that society tells us to avoid. What is denied gains strength. What is locked away gains allure. This is why the attraction to what you cannot have feels so overwhelming. At first, the fascination begins with the barrier. The fact that he is married should weaken the desire, yet it does the opposite. The boundary itself makes the pull stronger. The mind begins to whisper, if it is off limits, it must be valuable. This transforms ordinary feelings into something heavier. The boundary becomes the spark. It is not only about him. It is about the meaning that his unavailability creates inside you. The mind reacts to limits in curious ways. When something is available and safe, it can lose its shine. When something is distant, it becomes rare. Rarity gives it weight. Jung described how projection turns these distant figures into symbols of our inner needs. In this case, the married man is not only himself. He becomes a canvas for your desires, a place where you project the qualities you feel are missing in your own life. The distance makes it easier to idealize him, easier to imagine him as the answer to unspoken questions. This is where the fascination becomes both exciting and painful. You may catch yourself replaying moments in your mind, turning simple exchanges into stories. You may try to dismiss these thoughts, yet they return. The unconscious does not let go easily. It insists that you pay attention to what is missing. The very impossibility of the situation gives it energy. It burns brighter because it is hidden. Why does the forbidden create such obsession? Because it awakens imagination. When something is unreachable, the mind fills in the gaps. You create possibilities, imagine outcomes, and build a story around fragments. Attraction to a married man is rarely only about who he is. It is about what your mind makes of him. His distance allows you to imagine qualities that may or may not be there. That is why fascination with what you cannot have feels so powerful. It is a mixture of reality and imagination. For him, the same rule applies. Knowing he should not feel desire often makes the desire stronger. Prohibition adds fire. Risk awakens energy that routine often kills. Jung taught that the human spirit is not satisfied by safety alone. It seeks challenge, mystery, and the unknown. That is why he may feel drawn to you even while resisting. The forbidden intensifies the attraction for both sides. This fascination is not weakness. It is the psyche demanding attention. The unconscious uses the unreachable to point toward what is absent. It asks, what do you really want? What qualities are you projecting? What does this man represent beyond himself? If you look closely, you may see that he embodies freedom, passion, or validation. These are not things he gives you. They are things you long for in yourself. The barrier only makes them clearer. The danger, of course, is being trapped. Fascination with the unavailable can hold you in an endless cycle, where longing grows but nothing changes. Jung warned about the need to withdraw projections. Until you take back what you have placed on him, the fascination will consume you. It is important to ask, what am I truly chasing? What am I missing that I think he can provide? The answers may surprise you. They may show you that your attraction is really a search for your own hidden needs. Yet there is value in this fascination. It teaches you about your hunger for passion, your craving for intensity, your need for mystery. It shows that you are alive, that you want more than routine and safety. The forbidden reveals the raw truth of desire, and while it may never be fulfilled, it points you toward deeper self-awareness. So what does this fascination really mean? It means you are not only pulled toward a man, but toward your own unmet desires. It means the barrier of his marriage is not just an obstacle, but a mirror, showing you what your soul feels it lacks. The fascination with what you cannot have is more than longing. It is a signal, a symbol, a reflection of the deeper needs within you, and by understanding it, you can turn obsession into insight, pain into wisdom, and longing into the path of self-discovery, the reflection of what you lack. Attraction often feels like a mirror. What draws you to someone else is not only about them, but also about what you feel missing inside yourself. When a married man looks at you with interest, it may seem like the mystery is all about him. Yet, according to Carl Jung, much of that pull is a reflection of your own inner world. The unconscious projects hidden desires onto others, creating connections that feel magnetic because they touch what is absent within you. This is why the attraction can feel so intense. You see in him not only who he is, but also who you wish you could be, or what you wish your life contained. He becomes a reflection of the parts of yourself that you long for but have not fully lived. If you crave freedom, his attention symbolizes freedom. If you long for validation, his eyes mirror your worth. What you lack within appears to stand before you in the shape of another person. Jung described projection as an unconscious process where the psyche places its own qualities onto someone else. You may believe you are simply attracted to him, but often you are attracted to the qualities he represents. He may symbolize adventure, passion, or recognition. These are not gifts he creates. They are parts of you waiting to be claimed. That is why the attraction feels like fire. It is not only about him. It is about the reflection of your hidden needs. This can be both exciting and unsettling. On one hand, it makes the connection feel profound, as if destiny itself placed him in your path. On the other, it can leave you wondering why you feel so strongly about someone unavailable. The answer lies in understanding projection. What you lack becomes visible through him. The attraction is a message from your unconscious saying, this is what you need to bring into your own life. For him, The process may be similar. He may see in you qualities he has buried in his own routine. Your energy may remind him of vitality, passion, or freedom that he no longer experiences. Just as you see your reflection in him, he sees his reflection in you. That is why the bond feels mutual even when it is unspoken. It is not just about two people. It is about two mirrors facing each other, reflecting what is hidden inside. The reflection of what you lack explains why attraction can be so persistent. Even when you try to ignore it, the feeling returns because it is not only about him. It is about you. As long as your inner needs remain unmet, the attraction will continue to press on your awareness. The married man becomes the symbol of something greater than himself. He is not the cause of the desire, but the mirror of it. Understanding this gives you power. Instead of being trapped by longing, you can ask deeper questions. What qualities does he represent to me? What am I craving that I believe exists in him? How can I bring these qualities into my own life? By answering these, you begin to reclaim the projection. You take back what belongs to you, rather than leaving it in the image of someone unavailable. This does not mean the feelings are fake. They are real, but their root is deeper than the surface. Jung believed that attraction is one of the strongest ways the unconscious reveals itself. It shows you where your soul is incomplete, where your life is lacking balance. The married man becomes a teacher even without knowing it. He teaches you about yourself, about the qualities you must integrate to feel whole. So what does this reflection really mean? It means attraction is not random. It is not simply about forbidden desire. It is about the psyche trying to heal, trying to restore balance by showing you what is missing. When you feel pulled towards someone you cannot have, it may be your unconscious saying, "Find these qualities inside yourself." He is the mirror. You are the one who must step through the reflection. The battle between conscious and unconscious. Inside every person there is a silent war. On one side stands the conscious mind, the part that follows rules, respects duty, and organizes daily life. On the other side lies the unconscious, the hidden force that carries desires, instincts, and needs that cannot be controlled. When a married man feels attraction, this battle becomes visible. His conscious mind says no, but his unconscious whispers yes. The tension between these voices creates the pull you both feel so strongly. Carl Jung believed that the unconscious is not weak or secondary. It is powerful, often stronger than the conscious self. We may think we make rational choices, but much of our behavior is shaped by hidden impulses. This explains why attraction to someone forbidden can feel overwhelming. The conscious says, "This is wrong." Yet the unconscious insists, "This is alive." Both sides struggle for dominance, and that struggle gives the connection its intensity. In daily life, the conscious mind is the master. It maintains order, fulfills obligations, and protects reputation. But the unconscious does not disappear. It waits beneath the surface, sending signals through dreams, fantasies, and sudden feelings. Attraction is one of its most direct messages. It bypasses logic and strikes like lightning. That is why the man may act confused. He is torn between the safe path and the passionate call. You witness not just his attraction, but his inner conflict. This battle is not only his. You feel it too. Part of you knows he is unavailable. Another part cannot resist the energy between you. Your conscious warns you about limits. Your unconscious craves the forbidden spark. The conflict becomes mutual. It is not just about desire. It is about the two sides of human nature colliding. That collision explains the intensity, the sleepless nights, the restless thoughts. Notice how the battle appears in small ways. He may look at you with longing, then pull away. He may seek your presence, then avoid it. His words may be polite, but his silence screams desire. These contradictions are the signs of his divided self. Jung described this as the tension of opposites, the push and pull that every soul must face. Attraction only makes the conflict louder because it exposes what is usually hidden. For him, the conscious carries duty, family, marriage, responsibility. The unconscious carries longing, freedom, passion, vitality. When he is near you, both sides wake up at once. That is why he seems unsettled, why his behavior shifts. It is not indecision. It is the battle of two forces, each demanding victory. The conscious wants to protect stability. The unconscious wants to break free. You stand at the center of that struggle, not as the cause, but as the trigger that reveals it. For you, the same dynamic may appear. You may think, "I should resist." Yet the unconscious within you feels the thrill, the energy, the sense of aliveness. You are also torn between safety and passion. This makes the connection even stronger because both sides feed each other. His conflict mirrors your conflict. His unconscious call awakens your own. Together you create a field charged with tension, a living battlefield between what is allowed and what is longed for. Jung taught that the goal of this battle is not to destroy one side, but to integrate them. The conscious cannot erase the unconscious, and the unconscious cannot replace the conscious. True growth comes from recognizing both, giving each its place. Attraction to a married man shows this truth vividly. It forces you to see the limits of control and the power of hidden desires. It reminds you that wholeness requires balance, not denial. So what does this battle really mean? It means attraction is more than temptation. It is the psyche showing its divided self. The man does not only want you, he is struggling with himself. You do not only desire him, you are wrestling with your own hidden needs. The conscious says, protect your order. The unconscious says, follow your passion. In the clash between these voices lies the truth of human nature. The attraction becomes the stage where this eternal struggle plays out. What this attraction really means. Attraction is never only about surface details. It may seem to begin with a glance, a smile, or a shared silence, but in truth it runs much deeper. When the attraction involves a married man, the meaning is layered and complex. Carl Jung believed that every powerful emotion carries a symbolic message from the unconscious. This attraction is not simply about romance or curiosity. It is the psyche sending signals, showing truths that the conscious mind often ignores. So what does it really mean? First, it means that desire has broken through the walls of routine. His daily life may be built on stability, but the pull toward you shows that something inside him longs for change. The attraction is a message that his inner world is hungry for vitality. Whether or not he acts, the feeling itself reveals a truth. The unconscious refuses to be silenced forever. Second, it means projection is at work. You are not only yourself in his eyes, you may symbolize freedom, passion, or recognition. He sees in you qualities that his life has hidden or denied, and the same is true for you. He may appear as a reflection of your own unmet needs. You look at him and feel drawn not only to his presence but to what he represents in your inner world. The attraction becomes a mirror, revealing the qualities that both of you lack but secretly crave. Third, it means conflict is alive. Attraction to someone forbidden cannot exist without tension. His conscious mind tells him to resist. His unconscious tells him to surrender. The battle between these voices creates the intensity you feel. This conflict is not proof of weakness. It is proof of humanity. Every soul wrestles with opposites: duty versus desire, safety versus freedom, order versus passion. This attraction is simply where the struggle becomes visible. Fourth, it means that silence and symbols speak louder than words. The way his eyes linger, the pauses in his voice, the heaviness of unspoken moments, these are not accidents. They are the language of the unconscious. Jung explained that the psyche often communicates in indirect ways. In this case, the attraction communicates itself through what is left unsaid, through gestures that carry more honesty than speech. Fifth, it means that fascination with the forbidden awakens imagination. The very fact that he is unavailable makes the desire stronger. The boundary creates intensity, and the impossibility feeds the fire. Yet this fascination is not only about him, it is about you confronting your own hunger for passion, mystery, and meaning. The married man is not only a figure in your life, he is also a symbol of your longing for what feels alive, untamed, and free. Finally, it means transformation is possible. Jung believed that strong attractions are opportunities for growth. They reveal the hidden parts of the soul, forcing you to see what you lack and what you fear. This does not mean you must act on the desire. It means you must listen to it. The attraction carries lessons about who you are, what you need, and what your life may be missing. It can break you if ignored blindly, but it can also guide you toward deeper self-awareness if understood with honesty. The attraction of a married man is not only about forbidden desire. It is about the human journey toward wholeness. It is about the unconscious calling for recognition, demanding that you face truths hidden beneath the surface. When you feel this pull, you are not only dealing with him, you are dealing with yourself, your longings, your shadows, your unspoken hunger for more. And so in the end, what this attraction really means is not a simple story of temptation or loss. It is an invitation. It is life itself asking you to look deeper, to question what you project, to face your inner conflicts, and to decide who you truly want to become. The man may pass, but the lesson remains. Desire is the mirror of the soul, and only by listening to it can you discover who you really are.